Queen Elizabeth II has been the Queen of the United Kingdom for a long time, so of course there are bound to be things about her that come out over time, facts and rumors about her life. I tried to gather as many facts about Her Majesty as I could, and threw in a few of the random speculative things too. The royals are people just like us, which means they're odd, maybe even a bit strange, and the Queen is no exception. Enough talk, here we go. These are strange facts about Queen Elizabeth II. Number 17. Schooling. Did you know that the Queen never went to school? At least not school in the traditional sense, but she was obviously homeschooled by private tutors. Princess Margaret, the Queen's younger sister, was taught the same way. So yes, they didn't go to school, but they probably got a better education than any of us. A world-class education. A royal education. Okay, moving on. Number 16. Nail polish choice. Queen Elizabeth seems to be quite set on the nail polish that she wears and has been primarily stuck on the same brand for years. Since 1989, it's reported that she's been very fond of the color Ballet Slipper by Essie. The polish pictured here sells for just $9 per bottle, and Elizabeth's hairdresser apparently wrote to Essie Weingarten requesting a bottle of the iconic shade in 1989, because the Queen wouldn't wear any of it. Sticking to the same nail polish for nearly 30 years shows some dedication. It is also reportedly one of Kate Middleton's favorites as well. Number 15. The purse. Have you ever noticed that Queen Elizabeth pretty much always has a purse on her when she's out and about? Like every time you see her, her bag is on her arm or within inches of her. So what's the deal? Well, did you know that her trusty purse is said to be used for signaling various things to her staff? It is said that if she places her bag on the floor, she wishes to be rescued from the conversation from which she is currently engaged. If it is set upon the table, it's a signal to her staff that she wants the event taking place to end in 5 or so minutes. It's also been said that Her Majesty owns over 200 Launer handbags, and for years many people have wondered what she carries inside. Lipstick, a mirror, possibly pictures of her family, a portable hook from which she can hang her purse beneath tables, and a crisp, precisely folded €5 note or €10 note on Sundays for a donation to the church are all said to be contained within. Number 14. Her tiara broke on her wedding day. Oh boy, now this is something that nobody would want to happen on their wedding day. Especially not someone whose wedding is being paid attention to by millions, right? Well, the hairdresser somehow broke the tiara, seen worn on Elizabeth in these pictures here, which was initially made for Elizabeth's grandmother, Queen Mary, in 1919. The diamond-encrusted tiara was escorted by the police to a place called the House of Garrod. They fixed the tiara and managed to get it back to Queen Elizabeth in time, as you can see in this picture of the couple from the wedding. But sheesh, that's a pretty big problem. Good thing it all worked out though. Number 13. Getting around. So this lucky lady doesn't have a physical passport or driver's license or anything like that. Both of them are already just issued in her name, so she doesn't need to have them. Can you imagine just going to hop on an airplane out of the country and they just bow or whatever and let you on? She probably doesn't have to go through security or anything. Of course not, she owns her own private jets. She's also reportedly not too bad behind the wheel, as you can see in this picture. Number 12. The Queen kinda has 2 birthdays. So her birthday in real people world is April 21st, and I'm sure she has a heck of a party. But the country doesn't celebrate her B-Day until sometime in June, and it's tied with the Trooping the Color ceremony. So then the whole nation celebrates it, and she gets to party down again. Her birthday is also on different days in a bunch of different countries between May and June, and that's where it gets confusing. So this is where I'll leave this. Number 11. She's seen lots of presidents. So, since the Queen became the Queen, she's seen 13 different US presidents. And you know what? She's met with all of them, except for 2. And can anyone guess them? Well, she didn't meet with Lyndon B. Johnson while he was president. And the other, any guesses? She has yet to meet with our current president, Mr. Donald J. Trump. He apparently has a visit planned for later this fall. So we'll have to see how that works out. Number 10. Lots of travel. She's made lots and lots of trips overseas since she gained the throne, and the numbers here are pretty staggering. She did 341 royal engagements in 2015, 333 in 2016, and 296 in 2017. Crazy numbers considering there are only 365 days in a year. She travels, and has every year since becoming the Queen. You wouldn't imagine that it'd be a busy lifestyle, would you? I guess she does make appearances all over the world all the time, so it makes sense. I always think of an effortless, posh lifestyle when it comes to being royal. Is it just me? Number 9. ATM WTF? I guess it might seem obvious that the Queen would get her own ATM for, safety reasons and stuff, but how random is that? It's like a big piggy bank where she keeps all of her cash. Because I guarantee that machine doesn't hold more than even $1 million, and pulls money out to feel like she's part of the rest of the world. Nothing against the Queen or this private ATM inside Buckingham Palace. I just find the big piggy bank idea kind of funny. She does have a private ATM in Buckingham though, that was fact. Number 8. Corgi Collection. So I thought that maybe it was an exaggeration when I read that Queen Elizabeth has had more than 30 corgis since becoming the Queen. But that's not the case. She's really had that many since 1952, when she officially became the Queen. Apparently in 2007, she had 5 Cocker Spaniels named Oxo, Flash, Bisto, Spick, and Span, as well as 5 corgis named Emma, Linnet, Monty, Willow, and Holly. Apparently she's a dog person, as you can see in this picture with her with 4 of the beasts. She has loved corgis since she was but a little girl and has owned a fantastic number in the years since she took the throne. Number 7. Taxes. Dear old Queen Elizabeth II isn't required to pay taxes and is exempt due to the Crown's legal tax-exempt status, but she pays them anyways, voluntarily. She pays out the equivalent of income tax for income that comes from the privy purse, basically an allowance funded by the public, and her private income. I guess that's a pretty good example of leading by example. She can connect with the people who she rules over and shows that even the royal aren't exempt from laws, morally at least. Number 6. Long reigning. She became the Queen when she was young. She immediately became Queen when her father passed away in 1952, and she was crowned at age 27 on June 2nd, 1953, and she's reigned ever since. Pretty crazy, right? Data from the UK Office of National Statistics shows that she's been in power for so long that 81% of the residents in the UK weren't even alive when she was given the crown. And she is the world's longest reigning monarch. Crazy. Number 5. All sorts of people. So the Queen has been portrayed by a ton of different people in around 100 different TV shows and movies. Intense. She's been portrayed by Helen Mirren in The Queen, pictured here, Sarah Gadon in A Royal Night Out, and most recently by Claire Voy in Netflix's The Crown, seen in this picture, and by many other actresses throughout many years. It would be crazy to see more than 100 different famous people's take on you. I've got to imagine it has to feel surreal watching others portray various events and situations in your life. Sounds like something the Twilight Zone or Black Mirror would come up with. Number 4. Money problems. So it's no secret that the royals have a decent amount of money. I mean, the Queen's estimated private net worth according to Forbes is around 415 million euros, which is $513,642,595 US. Although she has and makes so much money, she's nowhere near the wealthiest person in Britain. In fact, she's nowhere close to being the richest. Brothers Gopi and Sri Hinduja, pictured here, make the top of the list, and together have a net worth of 16.2 billion euros, or roughly 20 billion in US. Can you even imagine? Number 3. Message on the moon. Did you know that Elizabeth II has a message on the moon that was taken there by Apollo 11? In fact, there are a bunch of world leaders from the time that wrote notes that were then transferred to a little silicon disc, and then transported to the moon. There, the disc was placed just below the American flag and left there for whomever, really. Hopefully aliens, am I right? The Queen wrote a beautiful message which read, "On behalf of the British people, I salute the skill and courage which have brought man to the moon. May this endeavor increase the knowledge and well-being of mankind." That was terrible, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Just trying to have fun. We're all just trying to have fun here, you know? Number 2. Her and Margaret were party animals. At least for one night they were. The night the Second World War was ended on May 8th, 1945. Margaret and Elizabeth snuck onto the streets in very slight disguise, but still managed to go undetected to party and celebrate the war finally being over. They managed to make it to the center of London, party in the Ritz, and catch their parents appearing on the balcony from the crowd below during a night that Queen Elizabeth calls one of the most memorable nights in her life. Their infamous evening has even been adopted and dramatized in a movie called A Royal Night Out. Number 1. She's given a lot of gifts. I guess it really doesn't come as any surprise with the royals being known worldwide and with them being so popular that they're given gifts. They're not just given a present here and there, but all the time, and the royal family actually releases a list of gifts they've received every year. And they get some interesting stuff. In 2017, the Queen received things like the Union flag from the British astronaut Tim Major-Peaks, a spacesuit, a purple fleece dog bed, 2 framed photos of elephants, a little bottle of whiskey, and various Christmas-related things. She's been given some bizarre things in the past, though, like a sword made of shark teeth, an actual elephant, a totem pole, and even a sloth. Interesting. People are kinda weird.
For better.